This year, my wife and I are celebrating 5 years together. We're celebrating our 5th anniversary just in a few days, August 17th. We're celebrating our 5th anniversary. Isn't that a good thing? Yes, man, because some marriage is not even lasting 5 days now, much more 5 years. So we're excited. And we have been excited since we've gotten together because we understand that the institution of marriage exists since when? Since creation back in Eden, right? And we know that just like the Sabbath, the marriage has been under attack. Would you agree with me? It has been under serious attack. And it is also now being perverted. Because even in my research, in terms of coming together with putting the material together for this presentation, I realized that I was bombarded with some images that were not appropriate for this presentation. What am I talking about? I am talking about some same-sex couples that they have now dominated the internet and they are lobbying for rights or to be treated like a regularly married couple. And it's just overwhelming to me the kind of impact that has been having on our society. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. Our subject tonight is marriage in progress. Caution, marriage in progress. Caution, marriage in progress. My computer just this evening has decided to start acting up. It appears that there's a key that is giving me some problems. But nevertheless, we're going to get through the presentation. Now, from the mere fact that we saw the caption of today's or tonight's subject, marriage, or caution, marriage in progress. Whenever you see a caution sign, what does that mean? Or a warning. It's danger. You have to tread cautiously, be careful, because something might be happening down the road. But guess what? This business of marriage is serious business. Would you agree with me? It's serious business. Now, I want to see, do you have any couples here tonight? Couples, husband and wife. You're both here tonight. Husband and wife, both here? No? Okay. All right. You're one half of a couple and you're here? All right, good. Now, my sister, what's your name? Sister? License. Okay, license. You have a driver's license? You have a driver's license. All right. My brother, you have a driver's license? Okay. When you went to get your driver's license, did they just sign up the driver's license and give it to you like that? What did you have to do before you get the driver's license? You have to do a driving test. Okay. All right. When you were getting married, did they have you take a marriage test? They have you take a marriage test. If they have a test for driver's license, why they don't have a test for marriage? Huh? They give you counseling. But did they test? Did they test to see that you're compatible? And did they do like a mock thing to say, okay, let's do an argument, for example, and let's see how you handle the argument versus you handle the argument. Or let us see how you will handle the chores. So let us have you do the ironing, this person. Did anything like that occur? No. When it comes on to marriage, there is no telling what you're getting into. You agree with me? So even for people who live together before they get married, there's something about marriage that just changes things. Because after they get married, they find that things are different. So I'm going to share with you seven steps to happily ever after. You know the fairy tale? 7 steps to happily ever after. Number 1, avoid addiction, adultery, and abuse. Number 2, no friction, no heat. Number 3, say it with me now. What's this one? You don't know the word in a Granville, not true. A country me come from. So bear with me, right? What does it say? Put the crocus bag down. And I hope that you know what a crocus bag is. You know what a crocus bag is? All right. Stoke the fire. Stoke the fire. The 60-40 rule. The 60-40 rule. That's our next one. And don't miss a thing. And what's the final one? Enough respect. Enough respect. The first one, avoid addiction, adultery, and abuse. What are some of the reasons for addiction, adultery, and abuse? Anybody? What are some of the reasons? Share with me. Why would somebody become addicted to something? Stress? Anybody else? What would lead somebody to commit adultery? Huh? Lust of the flesh. Okay? Greediness. I like that one. Greediness. Anybody else? Lack of affection. Exactly. Those are some of the things. All right. Question. If you were in an adulterous relationship, I'm going to ask a very pointed question now. If you were the innocent party in an adulterous relationship, would you be willing to forgive your spouse? Oh no, only say that now, because we're in church. Yes, what if he continues then? Okay. But the thing is, I've heard a lot of persons say, if he ever cheat on me, you see, you cannot go in with that mindset. Not that I'm excusing the wrong that an individual will do, but you cannot go in with that mindset. Agree with me? Because God is a what? A forgiving God. And he expects us to be forgiving as well. I'm not saying that it is going to be easy or it's going to happen overnight. But you cannot have that preconceived notion that I will never forgive. Agree with me? All right. Does anybody know what a prenuptial is? Agreement. Anybody? Anybody knows what a prenuptial agreement is? Yes. Yes. Some of them, they stay with what they have. Okay. Not a bad definition. Anybody else wanna help my sister with the definition? What's a prenuptial agreement? It's an agreement that is done before the marriage. That says, boy, you see, if we split up, this is what I am going to get, and this is what you are going to get. You understand what I'm saying? So before we even get married, I want you to understand this, right? Just in case anything goes wrong, I am going to have this, and this is going to be yours. Now, my question to you is that, is this kind of agreement for Seventh-day Adventists? Why not? Two has become one. Anybody else? Don't plan to break up, my brother. Right, you don't plan to break up. Right? I had on here that divorce should never be an option, but my wife tell me say I should take it off. The divorce should not be an option. But guess what? You don't get into marriage to get divorced. You get what I'm saying? That's not what marriage is about. Just like you don't become a Christian to backslide. Right? Or to quit coming to church. So you don't get into marriage to get divorced. Right? That is very, very important. Prenuptial agreements, in my opinion, should never be for Seventh-day Adventists. Now, the 3 A's that I just mentioned, they are crucial to Seventh-day Adventists and also marriages in general that experience problems. The 3 A's, addiction, adultery, and what's the other one? Abuse. Addiction, adultery, and abuse. Somebody said, when I asked what would lead to some of those things, and somebody said lack of affection, and I agree with that statement. If you don't show affection, then what you're doing is that you're pushing the other party away. Would you agree with me? You're pushing the other party away. And if you do that, then not to make excuses for the individual, but it can lead to an adulterous type relationship. And it can also lead to abuse. So that is important. The second thing that I want to share with you is that no friction, no heat. No friction, no heat. What am I saying here? Anybody? No friction, no heat. What do you get from that statement? No friction, no heat. You ever hear the statement that teeth and tongue must meet? You never heard that? Or is only me one grow with my granny? Huh? Teeth and tongue must meet. And guess what? Can I tell you that some of the greatest things have come out of conflict? What do I mean by that? We are all humans. And my father would tell me that if God wanted to make the same person over and over again, he would have stopped at a dam. You agree with me? So we're all different. And as such, we have differing views. Agreed? And because we have differing views, then we may have what we will call conflict. But is conflict always bad? Is conflict always bad? No. Conflict is good because sometimes you can come up with a point of view that outside of the two of you coming together, then that idea would never have entered into your head. You agree with me? So conflict is important. The challenge that we have is that we don't manage conflict properly. So if my wife doesn't agree with me, it's because she have a problem with male authority or male figure, and me are the man, and anything me say is law, and she should never question whatever I do, and all that sort of. How that come in? How does that come into the picture? It doesn't. So we need to learn to manage conflict, because if there is no friction, there's going to be what? No heat. And guess what? If you're in a marriage, heat is necessary. Heat is necessary. How should you react if you propose a particular viewpoint? When I was getting married and I went to the counselor, and the counselor said to me, but Lowenfield and Terrian, here's my situation. Here's my statement to you guys as it relates to a particular matter. I'm not going to tell you how to do things in our bedroom. That's what he said to me. To us, rather. I'm not going to tell you how to do things. Here's what you need to do. You need to agree on whatever it is that you're doing. You follow what I'm saying? So once you have consensus, you're all right. But don't leave it to me to dictate the activities and the affairs that take place in your bedroom. I'm not getting in there. You understand what I'm saying? You need to have consensus. Bottom line, what is he saying? As husband and wife, we need to agree on some things. If we have a disagreement, then we need to come to some form of a consensus. Because unless we do that, we cannot move forward. I don't want to touch on some touchy subjects, for example, sex on the Sabbath. Because that is a very quarrelsome point in the Adventist Church. Right? And people have differing views on whether or not it is holy and right to have sex on the Sabbath. But I won't tell you what my view is. But the point that I'm making is, a couple faced with that issue have a decision to make. Because if one party say yes and the other party say no, then there's going to be a problem. You agree with me? So they need to come to what? A consensus. And you do that by negotiating. And marriage is about negotiating. If you come with your hard and fast rule, you're going to have a problem in marriage. Amen? Amen. So we were at number 2. And forgive me with this presentation. What was number 2? No friction, no heat. Right? What's number 3? Let's see if you're a good student. What's number 3? Put the crocus back down. Now, what could I possibly be talking about here? Huh? Don't bring up things from the past. That's a good point. You know what? Yes? Bad habits. You know, a story is told of a lady. She was going to the market. And a man stopped to give her a ride. She had this bag on her head, you know, and the man with a pickup stopped to give her a ride. And the lady hopped into the back of the pickup and they were driving along, and the man took a glance in the rear view mirror, only to see that the woman still had the bag on her head. So when he said to the lady, "Ma'am, why are you still carrying the bag on your head?" She said, "Sir, after you're so kind enough to take me up, the least me could have do is continue to carry the bag." Some of us, we have some things that we're carrying around, some burdens. And instead of finding outlets to deal with them, we keep them pent up inside of us. And they boil and they boil and they boil and they boil until one day what will happen? Them burst. I know of a particular individual now that her husband cheated on her probably long before I was born. Right? So till the product of that union, the cheating, is now could be my mother. You follow what I'm saying? And the lady, up until this day and age, find it difficult to forgive her husband. And can I tell you that the man is dead and has been dead for several years now? And if you ask her, she said, "Me? Forgive who? You must be mad after he cheated on me." And this is going on nearly 50 years now. And she cannot find it in her heart to forgive her husband. And the same individual has had multiple strokes. And I don't have to light lamp to ask what it is that could have led to something like that. You follow what I'm saying? This crocus bag that you're carrying around, you need to put it down. Especially when you come into relationships, right? You need to have discussions. You need to have dialogue. Because if you don't have dialogue, then you're going to have problems. If something is the matter in the relationship, tell it to your spouse. You must can find a way to relate to him or her. If when you're drinking soup, the person, you know, some people drink soup like that. And it can be annoying to another person. You understand what I'm saying? So tell him, you know, I really don't like when you slur the soup like that. It kind of edge my teeth or something. You'd be surprised some little things that couples break up over. You understand what I'm saying? You have to find a way to deal with it. All right, I share with you. Some things coming into the union you have to be careful about, because you're two different persons coming from two separate households doing things differently. Right? My wife is a person like this. She lock up the house, and then 1 hour later she go check if the house lock up. And then by the time we go to bed, she say, "Dear, you can go check if the back door lock. Go look if the alarm, if you see the something a flash and the alarm, see if it's still there flash. And go check if the something they did." But guess what? I learned that she takes her security very seriously. You understand? So I've grown to accustomed to, boy, if I go into my bed, I check. You understand? I pull the curtain and I make sure that the alarm light running. You understand what I'm saying? And I make sure that the bathroom window lock and this window lock and all of the windows in the house lock. Right? Just to make sure that she's comfortable and she's secure. And if I hear a sound, I'm the first one to jump up. Because I don't want her to, "Dear, you hear that? You hear? Go and go look at one of." And you know that the men are the first ones. So they say, go and go look at what. You understand? So No matter what hours a night. It's only me one married inside here as man. Then I'm two now. No. Huh? Oh, I'm wondering if you only am to me. So you have to go check. And I have understood and I have grown to appreciate. So I don't become annoyed when she said, you know, me not tell her, they not just 1 hour ago, me go check the door. Who go open it again since then or something at the start. You understand what I'm saying? I go and I check to make sure. And can I tell you sometimes we go check and the door no lock? Because I thought I locked it. And it is not locked at all. You may think that this is trivial. And for you young people, I am sharing my experience with you so that when you get to my age, then you will understand that when you're dealing with relationships, these are the things that you do not take for granted. Because it is the little things that turn into some big things that ultimately will lead to divorce. Amen? All right. What's the next one? Should do what? Stoke the fire. Stoke the fire. I don't think it's a don't. You should stoke the fire. Always stoke the fire. Now, what am I saying with that? I tell you, I have about 4 different women that are seeing at the same time. 4 different women, including my wife. And she know of the other 3. Follow me carefully. So, some days, I go out with my girlfriend. The next day, I go out with the sweetheart. The next day, I go out with my lover. And the next day, I go out with my wife. 4 of them. Right? So, I'm keeping 3 women with my wife. You following me so far? Or not following with me? My sweetheart, my girlfriend, my lover, and my wife. 4 different persons may I see one time. Right? So you would think I would be in an adulterous relationship. Not true. But I am not. Because the 4 people are in the one individual. So my wife plays the role as my girlfriend. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes I flirt with her. You understand? Sometimes I drive up on me and say, why? What a woman, sweet man. Look how me look on the, you know, me stand up here and me just admire the girl. I drive the bus, I come in and have to come pick me up. Me say, my God, what a woman look good. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes I drop a little note and something so that she starts to roll up her head and something. And I said, that is so nice. You know that my wife and I, we go out on a date every day. All right, let me put it this way. My wife and I work at the same place. People would have think said that are trouble and chaos. And me no want the man work nowhere near me and whatever the case may be. And the woman, she might watch on people and whatever the case. No, that not happen with me and my wife. Because guess what? We have a very open relationship. You understand what I'm saying? I trust her completely. She trusts me unreservedly as well. We have a very open relationship. We go on a date every day. So every day, my co-workers are so used to me rushing off. They say, what happened? Why you rush come? I say, me have a date. So I say, we do. I say, my wife. They say, well, yeah, every day you have a date with your wife. So I say, yes, of course. I have to keep the date with my wife. Nobody is more important than her next to God, of course. But nobody is more important than her to me. And I make sure that I keep my appointment. Is that okay? You see, you know what happened? I meet a lot of people and they say, boy, you know when we used to so and so, and when we used to so and so, and boy, this used to happen when we used to court, and we used to, and we used to, and we used to. Everything happens when? In the past. There is nothing that is currently happening. Right? You know that special occasions for me and my wife are some serious times. The last birthday my wife had, I sent her on a treasure hunt through the town of Montego Bay. Treasure hunt. Sent her to, must be about 4 different places, and she got clues and she went to this place and to that place and stuff. When I went to one of the places and the lady said there's something that I do, because I do up some poems and things to it, and she said, you know, no brother. No more no in our family. Me that like for me, You understand what I'm saying? But guess what? We make fun of these things because guess what? It's important for us to have these kind of things to add some spice to the relationship. Life's stressful already. So you cannot add another stress with marriage. You follow what I'm saying? All right. I have a statement that I normally make. Now listen to this statement carefully. You hear they talk about the grass being greener on the other side? You've heard that? So all of a sudden, one next woman start look more attractive than your wife. And the co-worker that you have at work, she no nag you. She no give you no ends of trouble. And she just nice. And she smile. And she have one nice figure and one nice shape and whatever the case may be. You know, say your wife and you used to look so. Before you get her pregnant and she have children for you. You follow what I'm saying? You need to understand that as one grows in a relationship, then things are going to change, including the figure of the lady. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to get used to those kind of changes. All right. The point that I'm going to make is this. Water your brown grass. Let me say it again. Water your brown grass. Why? The grass might look green over on the other side, but you have no idea of the water bill that is taking place over there to get it to that stage. And probably you can't go up to that, the water bill. You follow what I'm saying? So your brown grass has the ability to become what? Green. If you only water it. A story is told of a man who was starting to see another woman. And when the wife found out about it, here's what she did. She said, for 30 days, this is all I ask of you. I'll give you the divorce at the end of 30 days. I'll give you the divorce at the end of 30 days. Follow me. So under one condition, I have only one thing that I need you to do for me daily. All that I'm asking you to do is to carry me over the threshold like you did when we got married for 30 days. You follow what I'm saying? So the first day, they have a little son. So the first day he did it, he carried the wife over the threshold. It was kind of awkward. And the son laughed them to scorn. And when mommy and daddy do. And they did this. And they did this 20 days, 25 days. They continued and they did that. On the 30th day, after the man carried her over the threshold, he decided that he no longer wanted a divorce. He was at work. And he decided that he no longer wanted a divorce. As a matter of fact, he went to the flower shop and he went to buy some roses because he was going to take it back to his wife because he was going to recommit himself to his wife. When he got home, unfortunately, his wife died. His wife died. But before she died, she left him a note. She said to him that I was suffering from cancer. I was suffering from cancer. And because I didn't want our son to go through this whole divorce thing and to see us break up in this kind of a manner, I have asked of you this one favor that you have granted me. And of course, as I told you, the man was very distraught because he had no idea that his wife was terminally ill. He had no idea, and of course he was torn to pieces. But the moral of the story is this. You may think that your marriage or your relationship has gone so far that it cannot be brought back together. But if you just invest some time in it, just by doing one simple thing, just by carrying the wife over the threshold on a daily basis, they were able to reconnect. If you just rediscover some of the little things that you used to do in the past, then your relationship can come from being brown grass to green grass again. You follow what I'm saying? You agree with me? Amen. What's the next point? The 7 steps to happily ever after. The 60-40 rule. The 60-40 rule. have you ever heard that marriage is 50-50? 50-50. So we should share equally in everything. Now, so you hear it? Say marriage is 50-50. But can I tell you that I think differently? It should be 60-40. Why 60-40? You should give 60 and take 40. And the other person should give 60 and take 40. The bottom line is, you should be giving more than you're getting. What does the scripture say? It's more blessed to do what? To give than to receive. It's more blessed to give than to receive. And guess what? Sometimes we come into relationships and we think about this me mentality. It's all about me. But can I tell you that if you put we first, then the me will get taken care of? If you put the we first, then the me will get taken care of. Just put the couple first. Put the us first, and then your needs will ultimately get taken care of. Right? That's what the 60-40 rule is all about. Follow me? All right. Now, when it comes on to some chores, and I know we have some rules that we define as some are gender specific. What do I mean by that? When I speak about gender specific rules, what am I talking about? Men are to do some things and women to do some things. Anything go so? Not a thing no go so. Not a thing like that. Can I tell you that is my wife wash the vehicle? You never hear me say. Is my wife wash the vehicle? Why? I do the cooking. And in the morning, when we wake up, the first place I head is to the kitchen because I'm not making my family go out on the road, go drop down for dead for hungry. So I rush to the kitchen. And my wife in the morning time will clean up the vehicle so that we can go out and look. You understand what I'm saying? Anything wrong with that? It doesn't make me less of a man because I am doing the kitchen chores and my wife is doing the doing the bus, cleaning the bus. Anything wrong with that? Nothing is wrong with that. So spouses need to agree on chores and who does what. And guess what? Sometimes, depending on what is happening, we switch. So my wife might do the cooking one morning and I say, all right, me go outside and me do the vehicle. At evening time, the baby needs to be bathed and fed and whatever the case may be, and the other chores need to be done. Sometimes we just switch it around, depending on what's happening. But we don't get into a quarrel and we don't get into a fuss. And sometimes we share the chores. Can I tell you that it's nice when you share chores? Nothing not nicer than when my wife comes side by side with me and wash plate, because we have 2 sinks, so she can't. Did I say no friction, no heat? You hear that part there? So I like when my wife come close to me. You understand what I'm saying? Especially when we carry out certain duties. Because we want some heat. Okay, I'm sorry. We're in church. So let us keep it PG. But the point that I'm making is this. These little things can help to make your relationship blossom. So don't go sit down in the couch and you cock up and watch TV and the woman has stressed herself out. They pick me a ball in the room and she have to rush gun in there and boy, yes, Chris Gayle, strike the ball and whatever the case may be and goal and whatever the case may be. And your poor wife did stress out. And then when she come in a room, it's more stress she going to have to deal with. One of the secrets that I have learned, and my wife is not here, so please don't tell her, you see? What I learned is that when you assist with doing, men are talking to you now, you see, when you assist with do these things, then things will be better. You know understand what I say? You don't understand what I say? Eh? The what? McRae and Bright. All right, you get the point. So when you assist, it means that she's going to be less stressed. It means she's going to be less tired. It means that, you know, she'll be, she might even start show appreciation from before you get even in your bathroom. You understand what I'm saying? Because one thing that I know about women, women love to appreciate men for the things that they do. And I love the appreciation. Can I tell you? I love the appreciation. So we men need to understand that sometimes we need to do some things to assist the women. And all right, here's my thing for the women now. Try to, if the man loves certain things, try to learn it as well. So you might not know nothing about football for ages. But try to understand, what is a spot kick versus a penalty and a offside and them something there. You understand what I'm saying? So that when the man is watching his football, you can contribute some 2 cents to it too. I do some amount of graphics work. And my wife never know nothing about graphics. But she come and she sit down beside me and she said, dear, I want that here click pan. And then me tell her. And she said, how you do so and so? Do that again. Let me see. And so me, undo and then me show her how we do and something. And then she said, that look nice, man. What do you think if you put this up here so and that there so? And I said, okay, wonderful. Can I tell you that she did her own little graphics? And I am so proud of her. I printed it out. And I have it to show everybody, said this was my wife's first graphic design. Because I was proud of her. Why? She took time out to learn how to do the thing. I know her thing. But she just tried because she wants to be into what her husband is into. Some of us can have more fruitful relationships if we just try to learn some of the things. You understand what I'm saying? Learn how to tread one needle even if you can't sew. Right? My granny taught me to do everything. When I wash my clothes and put out, people have to wonder, and I never had washing machine. People have to wonder who grew me. Yes, a country me come from. Me know say you're looking at me and say, yes, a country me come from. So me know how to do everything. You understand what I'm saying? No woman can take me turn, what you call it? Preke. You understand? So my wife have to wise up. You understand what I'm saying? So if she cooking, she have to make sure say the food proper, because I know what proper food tastes like. You understand? And if she wash my clothes, you get what I mean? So there are no gender specific anything. And the point that I'm making was what? The 60-40 rule. Put the we first and the me will get taken care of. Agree with me? All right. We're coming down. What's the other one? Don't miss a thing. Don't miss a thing. So somehow we're so busy, we can't even get to go with child sports day. And report figure collect, and it's only one parent can get to go. Now, you're going to laugh after me when I go and tell you what I tell you. And you might tell me, say, I chew me young and chew one picnic me have and all of them something there. But can I tell you, if my son must go a doctor, and me and my wife can go a doctor. Anything wrong with that? No wrong with that. And depending on the severity of his illness, me will take time off from work. Even if my wife taking time already to be at home with the child, I take time off from work as well to be with the child. You understand what I'm saying? It's important. It's important because guess what? Life goes by so quickly. 70 years and 10. That's what the Bible says that we should live to, right? But we know that the average age is declining. And we have young people getting stroke. I had a co-worker who, younger than me, just dropped down and did a work last week or the week before. Hearty, and just dropped down and died. You can't afford to live your life, any old careless way. Right? Because life goes by so fast. You cannot afford to miss a moment. All right, let me share something with you. A couple was celebrating their 10th anniversary. So the man earlier, probably about the 8th or 9th anniversary, he did not remember the anniversary. And you know how women are with dates. Right? if you forget the anniversary, she not going to make you live it down. You understand? So the 10th anniversary come and the man was so excited. He went to the pharmacy and he said, I am going to get a nice card and carry home to surprise my wife. And the man spent hours in the pharmacy until he picked out what he thought was the perfect card and he took home to his wife. When he got home and he presented the card to his wife, the wife opened the card and she'd take the card and beat him. She slapped him upside the head. Where you going with this? Eh? Where you going with this? With 10th anniversary and you go buy a birthday card. Eh? 10th anniversary and you go buy a birthday card. The man was trying to explain that it was an honest mistake and the words in it was so appropriate and stuff, and she had none of it. But you see, sometimes we have to be slow to anger. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes appreciate the small things that are being done. So why if the man cook this something and it's salt, he can't eat and drink little water and show a little appreciation and say, thank you very much, honey, for the food where you're getting. Because you could have dead for hungry. You understand what I'm saying? Your blood pressure might go up still, but show a little appreciation. That's the point that I'm making. You understand what I mean? Don't be quick to criticize. Show appreciation. Help him how to do it next time. Not tell him how it's salt. But next time him in the kitchen, come and say, dear, you want me to help you? And this time make sure say you pour in the salt inside of it. You understand what I'm saying? So that way you won't make him feel bad. But don't just, blast him. You have to be very careful because guess what? He might not do it one next time. Sometimes some men or some spouses, they don't do certain things in the relationship and you wonder why. Because it was because of your reaction the first time that they did it. So you have to be careful how you handle those things. My final point is enough respect. Enough respect. There's a quote that says, you can have respect without love, but you can't have love without respect. Let me go again. You can have respect without love, but you cannot have what? Love without respect. Why is respect so critical? Because guess, if you don't respect your spouse, how you expect other persons to show respect to him? You ever see some couple? The wife dressing at the nicest things, come to church, and the man wearing shoes one clean, and in tie set one wear, and his shirt look like he never pressed from last year, and all them kind of things, and the two of them are walking in a church together. Something wrong with that? Something is definitely wrong with that. Because guess what? My spouse is a reflection of me. As a matter of fact, let me tell you how it works in my relationship. So if you see me coming here looking any old way, you need to talk to my wife. And vice versa. If she look any old way, talk to me about it. Because I am responsible for how she look, and she responsible for me. And don't me look nice? All right, so now go answer me. But the point that I'm making is this. We have to have some level of accountability. Right? Understand that it is no longer about you and it is now about the union. And persons are looking on the union. So you may not be able to minister in terms of handing out a tract or share a Bible study, but you minister through your lifestyle. And a lot of persons, they come up to me. I drove up, I'm an Adventist. I come to church. I went to look for my parents on the weekend. Saw my uncle. My uncle run a bar. Yeah? So I carry him going bar. And when we got to the bar, they were cooking some soup. And the man cooking the soup said, you know, so I say Jesus in now, no? I say, what you mean? He said, from me see uno, me and my wife, me say Jesus. That's odd. But I get the point that he's making. He's saying, from he looks at us, then he sees a Christian or he sees a Christian couple, which is good. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes you don't have to even open your mouth for minister. You don't have to try to convert people in terms of criticizing them. Just by living a lifestyle, they will see that they are not parallel to you and they will try to match up. I don't have to tell people what they're doing is wrong. You know, I went to another place and they said, boy, you know, elder, me know say Sabbath right still, you know. I want Rasta man may I talk to, you know. I said, man, me know say the Sabbath right, you know, and the Sabbath for keep and thing, you know, but you understand? But at least he's opening the door for me to minister to him because he knows what I'm about and what I believe. So it's important. Respect. Now, never speak ill about your spouse. You cannot call the man the worthless man and the worthless boy and jankro. I am sure that when you stand up in front of the pastor never say, can you kiss the jankro now? So how we go from being honey to jankro? What a transition. Never speak ill about your spouse. Never. Never. It is never a right time for you to speak ill about your spouse. Try to assist the individual. Everybody have weakness. Try to work through your weaknesses. You understand what I'm saying? Don't allow the weakness to be there and then it just degenerate without you doing anything about it. Be careful of how you deal with that kind of a situation. Listen to each other. Did you know that the word listen and silent have the same letters? Did you know that? The same letters that he used to spell listen is the same letters that he used to spell silent. So in order for you to listen, you have to do what? You have to be silent. That's important. Allow some alone time. Don't suffocate your spouse. Yes, I understand, say you like the person and you want to be around them 24/7, but not put up surveillance camera around the individual. You understand? They will get claustrophobic. Allow them some alone time. Appreciate the fact that they will have some friends and you have some friends and stuff. You need some alone time. Right? That's why trust is the fundamental thing in a relationship. Once you have trust, you don't need to worry about nothing. Right? So if I'm abroad, my wife now have to wonder what is happening there. Because she does what? She trusts me. And she knows that I am not going to hurt her. Right? As I close, I share with you a poem. And it is entitled, How to Treat a Good Man. And of course, you can substitute woman where I say man, right? And it was written by a lovely lady by the name of Terry and Malcolm Allain. For those of you who didn't know, my wife is a poetress. I'm coining a new word. You're going to tell me say it's not in the dictionary. She's a poetress, right? So she does poetry. And I'm just giving you just a sample from her collection. She's writing a book that is soon to come out. When it comes out, I will make sure that we come back to Granville and tell the brethren. Is that okay? All right. And I've been sharing some of her work on my YouTube channel. So for those of you who go on YouTube, you can look up Awesome 78. That's AWSUM 78. And you can check out some of her work on YouTube. It says how to treat a good man. Loyalty and honesty will develop trust. Kind words spoken will reduce any fuss. If you are upset and feeling disgust, never start a conversation by saying you must. Avoid loud outbursts and aggression. Remember he's a prized possession. If you are at fault, don't be afraid of admission. The truth handled correctly will gain more compassion. If he is at fault, don't bash him and shout and tell him how much he's a useless scout. Don't get in a temper and then walk out. These actions you can do without. If there's an area which you are stronger, Never insult him and tell him he's weaker. Embrace his strengths so he can be better. The union will only be twice richer. If you want your love to last, never hold on to mistakes of the past. Never with another man compare and contrast. That will spoil any good breakfast. Appreciate his gestures, no matter how small. Help him out when there is a shortfall. Nobody is perfect. No, not at all. If you do it together, you will both stand tall. Handle with care, as he is very fragile. Kiss him gently, that creates a smile. Hold him close, let it last for a while. You will be surprised how his mind suddenly becomes fertile. If you are blessed to have Mr. Right, one who is loving and always upright, respect and treasure him, and your love will be tight. Let God be in the center, and all things will be all right. These are simple practices which my mind conceived. Putting them into action, and goals were achieved. If you should do the same, then in turn you will receive. These gestures will make a sad heart relieved. That's from Sister Terrian Malcolm Alain. Our subject was caution, marriage in progress. And I shared with you the 7 steps to what? Happily ever after. And the first one was avoid adultery, addiction, and abuse. The second one was no friction, no heat. The third one was put the crocus bag down. Fourth, stoke the fire. The fifth one, the 60-40 rule. And the sixth one says, don't miss a thing. And the final one says, enough respect. If you apply these 6 principles, then I trust and I'll hope that your relationships will get better. Marriage will always be in progress. It doesn't matter if you've been married 1 year or 30 years. It's always in progress. My final story to you is that a couple had some time that they spent together each day. And even their children were aware of it. What did they do? They have a set time in the house that they have a sign that they put up on their door. They lock the room door and they put the sign out. Do not disturb. Marriage in progress. It's not a case that they were in there having sex. It was a case that they set aside time that they spent together. And they devoted that time completely to each other. No cell phones, no TV, no interruptions. Strictly alone time between the spouses. And can I tell you, their relationship blossomed. Their relationship flourished. Everything in marriage takes work. It takes hard work. And marriage is a bed of roses. But guess what? Like every rose, it comes with the thorns as well. So there's no rose without thorns. The same goes for your marriages. Thank you very much.